Hey guys, this is John Lee Hilliard from JT's Vending, coming to you with the number 6 video that I believe the sixth thing all fathers should teach their sons. And this one greatly affected me as I was growing up. So fathers and mothers out there, if you have sons that are not particularly tough, as we would call it, they don't like to fight, they don't like to hurt people, don't push them to. Do not push them. Do not tell your children to fight their cousins, fight their brothers, fight their friends, because fighting makes them tough. That is the worst thing we have done to our children, to our boys in this society, to make them think you have to be gangster all the time. That ain't gangsters, that's stupidity. You're teaching your son to fight everyone, and you know just as well as any other adult that little kid you're teaching to fight everybody, somebody's going to beat him to death and or kill him with a gun or do something bad to him, because he will not stop trying to fight people because they said a word. Kids don't understand that you have to pick and choose your battles. They grow up and they go, well, my mama told me I can fight. My daddy told me fighting people makes me tough. No, your daddy was stupid if he told you that. How many of us as men, as real men now, providers and husbands, how many of us know you got to pick and choose your battles? There will always be somebody out there tougher than you. Always. So again, you can go around and trying to fight everyone. You can teach your children, as you're allowed to, you can teach them that, but when they run across the wrong one and they get their lives taken, and you get on the news and go, oh, my son was a good kid. No, he was not. You taught him how to fight everybody. So he tried to fight the wrong person and they shot him. Or they beat him up so bad that he passed away. You can't teach your children, you can't teach your boys fighting makes them tough. I understand fighting toughens them up, like physically toughens them up, because that's what I was brought up. Like, fighting physically toughs them up, but they can't always be physical with everything in the world. So you know, especially if your son is the same skin color as me, we can't always be physical. We have to know when to use our words, when to use this brain, and when to use these hands. Like all of them have their time and place. But when you teach children, especially young boys, to fight, and they're young, they don't understand the regulations between it. They don't understand you have to regulate that. So they fight anybody that disagrees with them. They fight people that call them ugly. They fight people that call them stupid. They fight people that laugh at them. They fight people that beat them at basketball games or football games or soccer games or whatever. They fight because they get angry, and instead of expressing themselves with words or letting it roll off their back like water on a duck's back and just brush it off, they fight, and then they get themselves in a lot of trouble. And that becomes a lifestyle for most of them, most of us, myself. But I'm looking back now, and my son, for instance, my son is a gentle soul. So when I teach him about being a man, I teach him about having motivation with a positive attitude, the right attitude with humbleness. I teach him how to take responsibility, be compassionate, be kind, appreciating others, having courage to stand up, to stand on the things that you believe in. You can have emotions. Real men cry we're human. When things hurt us, we cry. Real men cry. Cowards, they hold it in, and it's a time bomb. And then I also teach him like how to keep his word. Like, if you say what you mean what you say. So you need to watch what come out of your mouth. So if you say it, that means you need to do it. So if you don't want to do it, you don't need to say it. And things like work toward worthwhile goals. Like, with teaching him at 12, I'm teaching him how to budget. I'm teaching him how to about finances, his personal finances. I'm teaching him what a budget looks like. I'm teaching him these are the things you have to work. You have to, true wealth comes from adding value to other people in society. That's what true wealth comes from. It's not money, it's not gold, it's not diamonds, it's not earrings, it's not Jordans, it's not name brand clothes. It's adding value to other people in the community, in your city, in your state. And that's true wealth. So that's the sixth thing that I think fathers should teach their sons. And I'm working on those exact things. That list I just gave you, my little notepad right here. These things I teach my son on a daily basis. And yes, it's hard. It's hard teaching your children, but it's going to, I'm sowing the seed now so I can reap the rewards later. I'm not even, I can't sugarcoat it. I want my son to be a better man than me. He has no choice but to be a better man than me. I take every mistake that I have made, or most of them that I can remember, and I sit down and I think through them and I pray about them, and I guide my son in the opposite direction. So my biggest one was being stingy. I was stingy. I ain't gonna give nobody nothing. And now I'm outrageously generous, and God has continued to bless me and my family because we're not only being generous, but walking by faith, believing that He can do the things that He said He can do, believing that He's real and seeking His will. That's what I'm doing with my family, my son especially. So guys, if you're out there, please stop teaching your sons, 12, 13-year-olds to fight everybody. Because even though you're teaching them to fight, to be tough, how they're receiving it is, if somebody disagrees with me, I'm going to fight them. If I'm bigger than them, I'm going to fight them. And that right there will lead them down a destructive road that you will not like what the outcome is. So guys, thank you so much. Au revoir. À bientôt. À la prochaine.